Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you a Path of the Giant Barbarian build guide in Baldur's Gate 3. So this is a subclass coming in patch 8. I'll be using a mod version that's identical to the in-game version that's coming in patch 8, as I don't have access to that at the current moment. But we'll start off here with the Barbarian, and you get yourself the unarmored defense. We want to make sure that our constitution is very high. Now, to get the highest version of this build, the strongest form, it's actually best to dump our constitution and use the constitution amulet. That'll give us a +6 to our armor class, so we can take our dexterity and strength up to 16. And I would recommend having everything all balanced here, but also pumping up our wisdom, because having a high wisdom means that spells like command and hold person are much less likely to hit us, which is the biggest downside to playing something like a barbarian. So this covers all of our bases. And otherwise you would put the points back to what I showed there previously, as constitution is going to be very important for us. Now, what we're going to roll with for gear is something I'll show off later on in the video. I'll show you the full leveling guide and then also some combat. At level 2, we get our reckless attack and danger sense, giving us advantage on dexterity saving throws, so things like fireball, which is very common. At level 3, this is where we get to choose our subclass. Now, I'm using the TheTadams mod, so this is in the in-game mod manager. But there's also one made by Sumer Dagnoth, and they're identical. It's the same thing that's going to be coming with patch 8. So we get the Giant's Havoc. Your rage pulls from strength from the primordial giants of might of giants. You gain crushing throw and giant stature. You also make an improvised weapon attack as a bonus action. And you also get the crushing throw here, so you can pick up an item or creature and throw it at a target, dealing additional damage and knocking it prone. Let's get Thaumaturgy cantrip there. And at level 4, we get to choose another feat here. So I think that there's a couple ways that we can go about doing this. It's good to bump up our overall damage by increasing our strength here. You can also use strength potions and dump your strength. So there's actually 2 ways you can go about doing this. There's also some really nice other feats that we can go with, Tavern Brawler being a big one, since we're going to be focusing on throwing. So at this point, you could have had the constitution or strength at an odd number. We got items that are going to help out with our strength and constitution. Normally, you put the strength up to 17, and you can bump that up to 18 if you don't own the strength potions. At level 5, we get our extra attack and fast movement speed, increasing the amount of movement that we get by 3 meters. And we want a lot of movement. At level 6, we get the Elemental Cleaver, and this is huge. So you can infuse a weapon with primordial energy, giving it additional damage. You can choose what element, fire, lightning, cold, etc. And it gains a thrown property. So prior to this, you're going to want to use the Returning Pike. So that's a weapon that you can get early on in the game. The Returning Pike is very strong. The Elemental Cleaver here will make it give it the thrown ability, which whenever there's a weapon with a thrown, it means that it's going to deal its damage when you throw it. So if the weapon does 1d10, it'll do 1d10 when you throw it, opposed to just doing minimal amounts of damage, which is actually really good. So you can use any weapon at this point onwards. At level 7, we get the Feral Instinct for the +3 to initiative and can't be surprised. So basically a diet version of the alert feat. At level 8, we get another feat here. And I would recommend taking up your strength to 20 if we went that other route, or going to 18. The way my strength is right now is because I'm using a strength potion just to maximize damage. At level 9, we get the brutal criticals, so you've been trained to strike swift and true. You gain a critical hit, you roll an extra damage die, as well as a normal additional crit die. So further enhancing our amount of damage. At level 10, we get the Mighty Impel, move 1 medium or smaller creature to an unoccupied space that you can see. However, we can also add in 3 levels of the Rogue Thief. A lot of people also go with this build. We don't have the same bonus action abilities, but adding in the Rogue is a nice option. Otherwise, you can continue with all levels into Barbarian. I'm going to show off how this one can work, because you get all these bonus action abilities. But on top of that, with the Thief, we get our extra bonus action. So this can really stack it up. Not really the same as the Throw Zerker, but with this, we also have, we got the Crushing Throw, and then we also got ourselves Sneak Attacks. However, depending on the weapon, we won't have a sneak attack, but we get that extra bonus action, so we can dash around on the same turn, or we can go with one of the other abilities that we got. Now, we can actually roll with a very high armor class here if we're going to be using a shield, as well as the Vest of Soul Rejuvenation, which will give us a +2 armor class, and it's a clothing option. But it also gives us a reaction unarmed strike that we can do, and since we have Tavern Brawler, that punch is going to hit hard. We also have ourselves the Mask of Soul Perception for increased attack rolls and initiative, Cloak Protection, the Evasive Shoes, and the Ring of Protection. But I also got the Ring of Flinging here, giving a 1d4 bonus to attack damage. The nice thing is Helldust Gloves additional fire damage also applies to our thrown attacks, and that unarmed damage also applies with our Vest of Soul Rejuvenation attacks. So very cool. And as mentioned, we want the Amulet of Greater Health, which puts our health at 155. And we got ourselves Nirulna, so this weapon will return to our hand when thrown and creates an explosion, increased movement speed. This is the best in slot for our character, but we can go with some other ones, like even going with like the Shar Spear of the Evening. It's a thrown weapon, and then we can apply it so that we can return to it. This will also give us the ability to see in darkness. So either of these works really well. Nyrulna is kind of the best choice, but if you go to evil playthrough, the Shar Spear of the Evening can actually be extremely good. Now I'll show off what this looks like in combat, because that's really the best thing about this build. So I'll show that off here now. So we'll start off combat, because we can't actually start our enraging Giant's Havoc until we get into a combat encounter. So I'll just go ahead. Here's a regular old main hand attack. Unfortunately, whenever you attack to start combat, it doesn't give you the extra attack, because whenever combat's triggered, it causes issues there. But now we can go into our rage, because we have 2 bonus actions. So with this, we go with the Giant's Havoc, and you're going to see here, rah, we get large and in charge. So then we also can end our rage here, and we got the improvised melee weapon attack. So pick up an enemy or creature and use it to make a melee attack. And now we're just going to go into things here. So we can actually go with the crushing throw and pick up someone and throw them at another person. So that can be really fun, and I'll just show that off here. So the crushing throw, and we rolled a good number there. I won't go with a critical hit, but that knocks the other target prone, so that's perfect. And then we can follow that up with a thrown weapon attack. So we got our Nyrulna here, and we'll throw it as we got 2 prone targets right there, and it'll clap real hard. So bonk, that does thunder damage to all those in range. And then we also have our improvised melee attack here, so we can go with a thrown ability. I don't really have the greatest grenade selection on my character, but we got ourselves a grease bottle here, so I'll just throw that down right there. And I'm not sure what makes me walk into the grease, but I'll walk out of the grease and we'll just leave that there. So, and we can, I guess I didn't even bind my weapon here, but we can apply fire, cold, lightning, thunder, or acid damage. I'm just going to apply lightning damage here, and I should have done that before throwing the weapon, but yeah, it also makes the weapon look pretty cool too. So we'll just end our turn there and let them move through. I would recommend having a bunch of grenades if possible for this, because then you're able to throw grenades and make the big explosions there. So that'd be the most optimal version of that. So we got absolutely surrounded here, but I was able to block like 8 or 9 attacks, and we only lost 20 health that turn because our armor class is so high, and they don't really got much to deal with because our armor class is 30 with haste. I applied that from someone else, and as you can see, it does a lot of good for us. So I think that the best thing to do right now is to try and get out of this situation. So I will rush at them and do the thunder damage with that. Boom! So that's the nice thing about Nyrulna, is you got that attack to push everybody back, and yeah, apply bleeding to them with that. So the Zephyr Strike is really, really nice. And then I guess we can go with a if you have a Lithid abilities too, Mind Blast is actually very strong as a bonus action if you got the ability to do it as a bonus action, as when we can just blast all of them with that. Follow it up. Oh, we knocked out most of them. We'll follow up our extra I should have probably just did a second attack there. I was not thinking. I should have followed up with a second attack and then did that, or do a throw attack. And then we can go with our improvised melee attack here, or I guess improvised weapon attack. I don't really have anything good to throw here, unfortunately, but you can always pick up a body and throw the body, so we'll do that. Throwing dead bodies. And yeah, I didn't expect that to happen. Okay. So I can follow it up with the Zephyr Break from this, which can knock everyone away. What's nice about that is you can actually hit in quite a large area, but we can also just go with our attacks here to take out these targets, as throwing it at close range isn't very optimal, but we can just go with these attacks here and bonk, hook them out, and then we'll move forwards and go with the Gust. Oh, that's fine. We can actually counter out with the Greater Kashigo counter here and give ourselves an extra attack. And it's funny because we attack with a weapon, but it applies necrotic, which is kind of cool. So here we go with the Zephyr Wind attack, and we can get multiple targets in this if we line it up perfectly. So boom, big pushback and thunder damage displacing them. And then we can follow that up with another attack. So we'll go with our throw here, because this throw attack is really nice. So I guess we'll just find Nyrulna in the hidden grouping of items here. Actually, it's kind of bugged out, and I looked through it all. They don't actually have it here for some reason. Sometimes that weird glitch will happen, so we'll just go with a regular weapon attack here, and we'll just attack this target. and take them out. Perfect. Slowly dwindling them down. We also got the ability to cast like the black hole, which can be pretty effective because with black hole this will actually group everyone all together. But we can also go with a mind sanctuary, because with a mind sanctuary this allows us to interchange bonus actions and actions, so we can pop that down, and actually this will give us, since we have 2 bonus actions, we can go with another action. So then we can go ahead. For some reason it's not appearing here. I don't know what's going on. So we can throw the lightning jabber as well. It's another option that we got. Yeah, or we can just go with normal weapon attacks too. So we can follow it up with a bow attack, going for the weakest link here. This is not optimal. I guess I should just go with the throw-in. Maybe it'll appear after I throw in like lightning jabber at it. We'll try that out. I'm not sure why it's disappeared. That took them out. Perfect. And then we'll try another throw. And yeah, it doesn't have our weapon here. So I don't know what's going on with that. Even if you check for the weapons, there is glitches with the thrown weapon. So that's something to keep in mind. I guess I won't do that. I'll just go with a bow attack, trying to take out the person that's summoned in that fire elemental to get them off our back. And that wasn't them, but that's good. So everyone's up in our grill again, and we can use the elemental cleaver, giving ourselves that extra damage as well. And we'll go with another thrown attack. It's still not showing up for whatever reason. That's just part of the experience of playing with Nyrona. Sometimes it doesn't appear. Thrown attacks are kind of tricky, and that ended their attack, so that's perfect. For some reason my extra attack's not triggering. Those attacks used up both my actions. Not quite sure why, but we also, yeah, I guess I can attack again there. That works. We'll just go around attacking. Typically we'd be going with thrown attacks, but yeah, we don't really have the same weapon that we want to be throwing. So in the interest of, I guess, this video, I'll just go with range attacks, or we'll just go with, we can throw some bodies around. But even throwing the bodies is weird because it makes us run up with it. So I guess we'll just go with a ranged weapon attack. Hopefully take this out to get that fire elemental away from us. And that's the beauty of a mind sanctuary zone. So that took away the fire elemental. Perfect. And we'll follow up with another ranged attack here. Pretend we're doing bow attacks. Or pretend we're doing throw-in attacks. They would be much higher damage. But it's just a 1v1 here now, so that's fine. He got a concentration off on that, so I'm now stuck. That's fine. But yeah, you can see we're blocking pretty much everything with this build because of the high armor class. And I guess we'll just start throwing random bullshit. That took him out. So yeah, that's the beauty of it. We're stuck in place. Oh, we got moving. We got this guy floated up and in a weird position. So yeah, this is the Giant Barbarian in Baldur's Gate 3. Part of patch 8. This is gonna be a fun build. A lot of throw-in abilities are always enjoyable. Tavern brawler and all that goodness. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the subscribe button below if you found this video useful, and I'll see you all in the next video.